In all of the factoring problems that we've done so far, you'll notice there hasn't been a GCF. That first step I had you guys write down back on your, when we first started doing this factoring stuff, we've never had a number we've had to pull out. That's been intentional because I wanted to focus on the other steps before I brought that one in. Now, if you look at this first problem right here, if you see these three pieces here, so far we've just gone straight to magic numbers. Now, there's nothing that says you can't do magic numbers right now, but just briefly looking at this, our numbers are going to have to add to negative 26 and multiply to something big, 144, I think. Like big numbers that are going to be ugly to work with. That's not very pleasant to deal with. There's nothing that says you can't, but you're making the job harder than it needs to be. What I would do first on this problem is take out the GCF, follow step 1. So I can take a 2 out of all three of these parts here, and when I do, I get 3x squared minus 13x plus 12. And once I do that, I have a new trinomial inside my parentheses. So basically, I'm going to ignore the 2 there, and I'm just going to do my magic numbers on the part that's left over, the part that isn't covered up right there. So the one thing I will recommend you do with these problems is actually go ahead and write down your final answer way at the bottom, put that 2, and then put your blank parentheses here. Kids will forget about the 2 altogether. It still is in your final answer, it's just on the outside. Now we're just going to do magic numbers on this part. The rest of this problem here, don't care about it anymore. We just care about our new guy. So I need 2 things, and when I'm doing my magic numbers, I'm paying attention to the new problem. My numbers have to add to negative 13 and multiply to 3 times 12, which is 36. Hopefully you're starting to get more and more comfortable with the magic numbers. I believe on this problem my magic numbers end up being a negative 9 and a negative 4. So once I have my magic numbers, I'm going to rewrite my problem. Again, all I care about is my new problem. Don't care about that old stuff. It's dead to me now. I have minus 9x minus 4x plus 12. I can take out a 3x on this, and I'm just doing the same process we've been practicing now. So when I do that, I get x minus 3, and I can take out a negative 4 on this guy, and when I do that, I still get x minus 3. So my parentheses are going to be 3x minus 4 and x minus 3. Don't forget about that 2 on the outside. That's part of your answer. This whole guy is the solution. Now, I'm going to go ahead and write down, you don't have to write this part down that I'm going to put here, but this is what you would have gotten if you didn't do the GCF. If you would have just said, you know what, I don't want to do that red step, I just want to do magic numbers on the original black problem with my big add to negative 26, multiply to 144. If you had worked it out, this is eventually what you would have gotten as your answer. You can see that the 2 answers here don't match. The reason for that, the thing you have to worry about if you do just jump straight into magic numbers, if you have something in either of these parentheses that can get pulled out, you have to do it. So this guy, there's nothing they have in common on the right side. But on this left guy, 2x and negative 6, you can take a 2 out of that parenthesis. And if you do that, you get this, which matches. So now they are the same thing. So if you ignore the GCF, it's going to be harder anyway, but then you have to remember at the end, if you can pull anything out of your parentheses, do it. One more problem in this video. So this is a problem. We have x to the 3rd power in here. We haven't even talked about how to do that. So this looks like something that's just out of our league in terms of being able to do it with our factoring rules. But let's go ahead and try our GCF and see what happens. So in terms of numbers, I can take out a 20. 20 goes in all 3 of those. And I can actually take out an x as well. So when I do that, I'm going to have just x squared minus x minus 2. So now I'm dealing with something that looks like a quadratic trinomial, because it is one. So I can deal with that. I have to make sure I put the outside GCF in my final answer. Can't forget about it. But after I do that, this whole thing, pretty much don't care about it anymore. All I need is my new problem right there. So my magic numbers, I have to add to negative 1 and multiply to negative 2. My magic numbers will end up being a negative 2 and a positive 1. Oop, wait, no, yeah, that's right, sorry. Okay, so I have x squared minus 2x plus 1x minus 2. I can take an x out. I get x minus 2 here. I can take out a positive 1, x minus 2. My answer, 20x times x plus 1 times x minus 2. Same process. You just pull out that GCF, bring it down, and do our normal routine.